5 iconic things you didn't know about Maye Musk. Hey ladies, I brought something special to you today. We're talking about a woman who has turned aging into an art form and fashion into her own personal statement. Some know her as the silver-haired model who seems to get more fashionable with age. But her fashion story is not really about looking younger. It is about something much more powerful: reinvention. Maye Musk, the mother of Elon Musk. While her son dominates the world of wealth, his mother, Maye Musk, dominates the red carpet. With her signature silver hair, elegant style, and unmistakable confidence, she has earned the admiration of women around the world. But today, I'm not here to talk about Elon Musk. I'm here to tell you 5 iconic things you probably never knew about Maye Musk, the woman who proves that your best fashion years don't have to be behind you. Because Maye Musk has spent decades proving that getting older does not have to mean becoming invisible. So ladies, before we get into it, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything on this channel. Now, let's get into it. Number 5. She started modeling at 15. Long before the gray hair, elegant suits, and international fashion campaigns, Maye Musk was already standing in front of cameras. She began modeling at just 15 years old in Pretoria, South Africa. And this wasn't supposed to become some extraordinary 6-decade career. At the time, modeling was simply something she was doing. She even became a finalist in the 1969 Miss South Africa beauty competition. But here's what makes her story interesting. Maye didn't build her entire identity around being young and beautiful. She built a life that could continue even when youth was no longer the selling point. She became a dietitian. She studied.
Hello, I'm Maye Musk, and I'm reading a part in my book that many people have commented on, and it's called Confidence. You know, if you walk into a room and you're walking up straight, then you do feel confident and you do look confident, and people always comment on my posture. So this is just a few sentences from my book.
She raised 3 children. She moved countries. She rebuilt her career. And somehow, modeling kept following her. That is important when you look at her fashion today. Maye doesn't seem to dress like someone desperately trying to recreate the woman she was at 25. She dresses like someone who has spent decades figuring out who she is. And that difference shows. Number 4. She wasn't just a model. This is probably one of the most overlooked things about Maye Musk. She is a dietitian and nutrition scientist, not simply a fashion personality. She earned a Bachelor of Science degree in dietetics and went on to earn master's degrees in dietetics and nutritional sciences. And here's where her story becomes almost unbelievable. Maye had to qualify as a dietitian in 3 different countries: South Africa, Canada, and the United States. She passed the difficult registration examinations each time. In the United States, she was studying and taking exams alongside people decades younger than her. Think about that. While the fashion world was interested in her appearance, she was also building a serious scientific career. And that gives us another clue about her style. Her confidence doesn't seem to come from fashion alone. Fashion is simply one of the ways she expresses herself. That is why she can walk into a room wearing a dramatic gown one day and a sharply tailored suit the next. She doesn't need the clothes to tell people who she is. She already knows. Number 3. She became a plus-size model. Now this is where Maye Musk's fashion story takes an unexpected turn. At one point in her life, she gained significant weight because of stress. And instead of believing that her modeling career was over, something completely different happened. She started getting booked, as a plus-size model. Think about how unusual that was at the time. The modeling industry was famously obsessed with one particular body type, but May found a way to continue working. She didn't spend her life trying to fit herself into one narrow definition of beauty. She adapted, and that may actually be one of the biggest secrets behind her longevity. When the rules changed, she changed too. When her body changed, she continued. When she moved countries, she started again. And when the fashion industry began celebrating a different kind of beauty, May was already there. That is something we can see in the way she dresses today. Her fashion doesn't scream, "Look how young I am." It says, "This is who I am." And that is a very different message. If you're yet to subscribe to Ageless Elegance Style, this is your opportunity to do that now before we continue. Number 2. At 69, she became a cover girl. Now we get to the part that made the fashion world really pay attention. In 2017, at the age of 69, Maye Musk became a cover girl. Let that number sink in. 69. At an age when the fashion and beauty industries have traditionally pushed women out of the spotlight, May was becoming one of the faces of a major beauty brand. And she didn't stop there. Her career continued to grow. Her official biography says that in her 60s, she appeared on major magazine covers and even had 4 billboards in Times Square. She also appeared in Beyoncé's Haunted music video at 65, and then came Dior Beauty. At 73, May became a Dior Beauty ambassador. This is why I think describing her simply as Elon Musk's mother completely misses the point. She had already built a career long before the world became obsessed with her son's name. And perhaps the most interesting thing is that May never seems to have treated aging as something she needed to hide. She made it part of her story. Her silver hair became part of her identity. Her mature features became part of her beauty. And her age became part of the conversation. That is very powerful. Number 1. At 74, she did something most models never do. And now we arrive at perhaps the most iconic moment in Maye Musk's fashion journey, Sports Illustrated. In 2022, Maye Musk appeared on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue at 74 years old. At the time, she became the oldest model to appear on the magazine's swimsuit cover. And think about the symbolism. A woman who started modeling at 15 had somehow reached 74 and was still breaking modeling records. But what makes this moment even more interesting is the message behind it. May wasn't trying to convince the world that she was 30. She was 74, and she looked like 74. Silver hair, mature features, confidence, and a style that didn't apologize for any of it. That is what makes her fashion so interesting. Because there is a difference between dressing younger and dressing confidently. And Maye Musk seems to understand that difference. So, what is Maye Musk actually doing differently? Maybe her secret isn't a particular cream. Maybe it isn't a particular designer. Maybe it isn't even the clothes. Maybe it is the fact that she never stopped reinventing herself. At 15, she was a young model. At 21, she was building a career in dietetics. After divorce, she had to rebuild her professional life while raising 3 children. She moved across countries. She started businesses. She earned advanced degrees. She became a plus-size model. She became an international model. She became a cover girl at 69, a Dior Beauty ambassador at 73, and a Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover model at 74. That is not simply a fashion story. That is a story about refusing to let one chapter define the entire book. And perhaps that's why her clothes feel different. She doesn't seem to be asking, "What should a woman my age wear?" She's asking, "What do I want to wear?" And that small difference can completely change the way someone looks. The Maye Musk Fashion Lesson. There is a lesson here for anyone watching. You don't necessarily become stylish by following every trend. Sometimes style becomes stronger when you know yourself well enough to ignore the rules. Maye Musk has lived through several generations of fashion. She has seen trends come and go. She has watched the definition of beauty change. And instead of constantly trying to become somebody else, she kept evolving. That's why her style today can feel youthful without actually trying to look young, elegant without being boring, bold without being desperate for attention, and mature without feeling old. And perhaps that is why, at an age when many people expect women to step away from fashion, the fashion world keeps coming back to her. Maye Musk is not trying to turn back time. She's showing us what can happen when you keep moving forward. And that may be the most fashionable thing about her. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Ageless Elegance Style for more stories about the women whose style, confidence, and individuality continue to challenge the rules of fashion. See you in the next.